Getting in and out of an above-ground pool usually feels like a bit of a chore, doesn't it? You're either dealing with those flimsy ladders that wobble every time you put a foot on them, or just struggling to haul yourself over the edge. That is where this curved step system from Confer Plastics tries to change the narrative. It is not just a ladder, it is more like a proper staircase for your backyard oasis. The first thing that hits you is the sheer footprint of this thing. It is wide, it is sturdy, and it feels like it is actually built to handle real people, not just lightweights. With a weight capacity of 400 pounds, it gives you that sense of security you really want when you are dripping wet and trying to find your footing. The design is clever because it gives you options. You can set it up with the curve facing inward or outward, which is a nice touch if your pool deck layout is a bit tight or if you just prefer a specific look. The two-tone gray finish is pretty neutral, so it doesn't scream for attention, which is honestly a relief. Now, here is the reality of the setup. You have to fill the sidewalls with about 20 pounds of sand to keep it from floating away, and since that sand is not included, you will need to make a quick trip to the hardware store before you start. It is a bit of a hassle, but once that weight is in, the stability is night and day compared to standard pool ladders. The handrails are solid, and the steps themselves are deep enough that you don't feel like you are performing a balancing act just to get into the water. One thing to keep in mind is the size. At 32 inches deep and nearly 4 feet tall, this is a substantial piece of equipment. If you have a smaller pool, it might feel like it is taking up a lot of your swimming space, so definitely measure twice before committing. Also, while the adjustable base pads are a lifesaver for uneven pool floors, getting them perfectly level can take a little bit of patience during the initial assembly. It is not a 5-minute job, so clear your afternoon. What stands out, though, is the modularity. You can start with just the base unit and expand it into a full curve system later if you decide you want that extra luxury. It is a smart way to grow your setup without having to replace everything at once. It is not the cheapest option on the market, and the plastic construction, while durable, does have that specific look that some might find a bit utilitarian. But if the goal is to stop worrying about slipping or wobbling every time you want a quick dip, this is a massive step up. It turns a clumsy climb into a simple walk, and for anyone who uses their pool daily, that convenience is worth its weight in gold. It is a solid, well-thought-out piece of gear that does exactly what it promises, provided you don't mind a little bit of heavy lifting during the install.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.